All right, guys. So it's 2024 September, and we're here. We're finally looking at the beginning of the end of an entire industry as a whole. Since 2020, there has been what happened. Can't say that on YouTube because I'll get cancelled or get my video taken down. So we'll just keep moving on. To now, 2024, the beginning of the year is the beginning of the end of the games industry. There have been layoffs. There have been DEI, woke stuff going on. There have been no good games that have come out in any capacity since 2023. And the only thing I could maybe attribute to a good game in 2023 may have been Helldivers 2. Nothing else. We've just had the most recent FPS drama game last a week before it ended up, and it has been shut down. We have all these other things going on with the industry itself and the layoffs because of, greedy investors and corporate morons who have never played a computer game in their life. Facts, right? We all know this. But what's really led us down this path to a point of absolute destruction and decay of the games industry? Well, yeah, you know what I'm going to say, right? Cheaters and bots. So, in the last 2 years, I have documented, recorded, dealt with, and publicly ousted the cheating epidemic that was growing to just proportions of epidemicy that we've never seen before in the games industry. And then botting. People using DMA hardware and laptops and their own computer, and a fuser and a switch and their router, yada, 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 to run bots. Now, even the guy running the bot isn't playing the game himself or herself or themselves, be politically correct. And this is the most idiocracy element of this, is that kids as young as 14, 13 years of age are getting onto dodgy Discords, dodgy websites, the dark web, and getting these bots with their parents' credit card, right? That's called larceny and fraud to start with, kids, just so you know. It's a jailable offence, and there is something called juvenile jail that exists because of that, let alone adult jail for the adults that are doing it from COD, right? We all know. And the Apex guys won't even go there with the botting issues and cheating there. The thing is, they're not even playing the actual computer game. They have these script bots running on these computers, and they walk away and do something else. Yeah? Sit on their phone and probably look at TikTok while the match is going in each of these games. Valorant, COD, Apex, three major offenders in relation, and CS2, in relation to the botting issue specifically. Now, these people are trying to level up accounts for sale to a cheat website so they can then apply their cheats and then sell them as packs. $15 or $13.50 Australian AUD for a hack pack with 30 to 50 skins on it for Valorant, for example, CS2, COD, etc. Right? Apex as well. And these people are doing so many things that are extremely illegal, especially under Australian cyber law, right? And the terms of service of the developer, these developers have been suing you guys, right? You've been removed from the game. Yeah, okay, cool. Never to come back, no worries. All your hardware is IP and a hardware ID banned. Cool. No dramas. But, so what's happening behind the scenes, guys, is that these kids are going to court. You don't hear about it because the games industry doesn't want you to know about it, obviously. But they're getting charged. The match itself, as soon as that report goes in that the person is botting or is a bot developer, that person then gets a court representative sent out from Riot Games with a subpoena to appear in court for a court hearing. Now, if that is a minor and the game requires you to be 18 years of age unsupervised, Valorant, as an example, then your parents, under the terms of service, because they haven't already given written authorization in a ticket to write to say this is my child's account, blah, 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 that I will be supervising them at all times while playing the game, blah, blah, blah. The parents have then failed federal family law court law. Okay, so that's child abandonment and child neglect by law. I don't write the laws, don't blame me. I'm just telling you about the facts and the proof and the evidence of all of this. So these kids, they're stealing mum and dad's credit card, buying a DMA card on Amazon. That's not illegal, no dramas. The fuser, as well as the script, that's extremely illegal in Australia, yeah? So these kids are doing this, they're setting up a bunch of laptops, probably dad and mum's laptop, and mum and dad are on their phones watching bloody TikTok or on social media themselves because they're Y-gen shit parents to start with, and they've already abandoned their child in so many other ways, right? To a point now where these kids set all this crap up in their bedroom. Parents don't care. Parents are completely absent, so they have no idea what the kid's doing. It's way above their parents' head anyway, right? And they're doing this, right? And they're thinking, oh, I can't be touched, I can't get in trouble because school told me this, school told me that. Well, reality check, kids. School isn't real. What you're learning at school is the opposite of the real world. Go down to a police station. Walk in as a minor, so you won't be arrested, and say, I am using this and this and this. Can I be arrested? And they said, if there is evidence to support that, you will have us at your front door. Or, more importantly, and more in line with what has actually been happening, is you'll have a representative of the court show up to your home with a court summons for you and your parents in a separate court case, by the way. So there'll be more than one subpoena. You, for the juvenile courts, for your offences against the developer specifically. And it's in the terms of service, in the end user license agreement. It's just common freaking sense, right? But your kids never read anything, you never learn anything, so you can't blame ignorance, because what happens is, you get your summons to child court, your parents have to go with you, parents are already in trouble for their separate family law court case because of the child abandonment and neglect case against you and them, right? So you go to juvenile court and you think, oh, there's no evidence. These developers, the second that first report goes in, an automatic recording starts of that match in real time. It's triggered by automated systems. There's no human interaction, so it automatically starts to be recorded. You go to juvenile court. Oh, you got nothing on me. You can't touch me. I'm a minor. There is video evidence. And if it's in text, if it's in video audio, which it is, in high definition, it is impossible for you to escape a juvenile sentence, okay? Your parents then get charged with such egregious charges of child neglect and abandonment, they can go to jail too. Don't know if they do, don't know if they don't. I'm not a judge, I'm not a magistrate, I'm just telling you how it is by law. And your parents can go to jail because of something that you've done to them. No matter how shitty a parent they are, you have defrauded the state, you've defrauded the federal cybercrimes laws of Australia, you've avoided tax because you've tried to sell these accounts, right? And you've made money from them once you've leveled them up, and you don't care where it goes next, but you've still made money and you haven't reported that to the tax department, plus you're underage, so, not even registered for tax. That's fraud and larceny. Then your parents have to then pay out what's due, whatever fines and whatever charges get laid upon them for court fees and for compensation to the developer and to the Australian government and to the tax department on your behalf. You bankrupt your family because you have no understanding of how the world works. You are your own worst enemies. Now, look, moving past all of that, and the truth of why gaming is going to die by 2030, without question now. It's unequivocal, unarguable. And I'll show you in just a moment why, in writing. So we've just had TenZ today leave Valorant. He has just quit VCT and is going to do other ventures.
Hello everyone. Today I am officially announcing that I am retiring from competitive Valorant. Now obviously this wasn't an easy decision for me to make, but it is one that I made at the start of this year actually, where I told myself that this was kind of my last year and I wanted to put my all into this year and just see how it went. Fortunately enough, we were able to kind of claim a trophy in Madrid, so that was pretty awesome. Definitely something that I'm glad we were able to do. I didn't want to leave my career at kind of a low point, kind of like how 2023 was. So I'm definitely really glad that we were able to win in some capacity for this year, and for my closure year, it was a very, very nice memory. So initially going into Champion Seoul of this year, before the tournament and before we flew, I actually told all my teammates in person. We had a meeting and I kind of told them that this would be my last year of playing. Obviously, a lot of people they understood my decision. With just how much success my content creation has, it definitely was a no-brainer decision for me. Just in regards to how much effort, how much work, how much of your life gets taken up by being a competitive pro player. So for 2024, I definitely poured my heart and soul into this year and tried to be the best that I could, even switching roles to a role that I've never really played in my life. But I just wanted to be the best teammate that I could be and also bring the best player that I could be. Now, first off, I just want to give a big thank you to all my teammates that I've had throughout my times at Sentinels. It's been an amazing time, and obviously there's been a lot of high points, a lot of low points. We were able to claim 2 international trophies at the end of my time with Sentinels.
From rank to rookie to tier 1 play, left to Stu. Pacific's hopes and dreams laid on his shoulders. Gen G's hopes and dreams laid on his shoulders. But how much can one man do? First one found, second one not there. It's over. SEN City, here to play, here to stay.
So I'm just really glad that I was able to kind of leave my mark within Valorant history and be remembered for that. And also I know that there is a lot of young and aspiring professional players that kind of see me as a role model. Obviously, it's a very, very awesome experience to have and something that's very kind of crazy to me, just because I never really thought I would get here in my life. I kind of started off as just a gamer who was just playing games for fun. I just joined like teams up until I actually ended up getting on a pro team. Really, I never would have imagined that it would have come to this point in my life where I would say that I was able to become successful. So it really just meant a lot for me to hear that people looked up to me and aspired to be someone like me. I would say when I was growing up, I used to watch a few certain Counter-Strike players, and I kind of always idolized them in a sense and tried to be like them, even tried copying some settings from them. So for an example, like Shroud. So just being able to be that person for someone else to like look up to, it's a very nice experience. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you to all the SEN fans. Thank you to all my fans. And if you've been cheering for me throughout my time competitively in CS, through Valorant, if you've been tuning in to my Twitch streams and just supporting me in any capacity that you can, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It means the world to me. Honestly, esports has been such a fun journey for me. I still remember the first time I ever stepped on a LAN stage with C9 for Blast Pro LA, and just the crowd, the environment, the aura of the event was something that was definitely crazy to me and something that was unbelievable. I never thought I would make it here in my life. And to now, like if you told me years ago, like past me, that I would become a successful esports player, I would definitely not believe it in a sense, just because it is such a crazy thing to think about. It's definitely been a long journey. It's been a fun journey nonetheless. And it's just something that I think was coming to an end just because how I wanted to pursue some more stuff in my personal life. I do think that content creation definitely opens up my schedule to do a lot more stuff. I can definitely do a lot more streams in general. I can do a lot more variety. I can explore by doing more IRL content, which was something that I was definitely interested in, especially since I did it in the past a little bit, doing Q&As or just exploring with Kaide before on live stream. So it was something that I've been very passionate about. And I mean, growing up initially, I've always kind of wanted to be more of a content creator and a Twitch streamer. I think professional play just kind of came at me because I just grinded the game so much. I put so much effort in, and I was able to get good enough to be called a professional level talent. It's something that I've definitely worked my life for and something that I'm very grateful for. So overall, I hope everyone can respect my decision. So to everyone that wants to support me for my future of content creation, I would greatly appreciate it. And I thank everyone that has been sticking with me since day one. It's been an amazing and awesome journey. So I definitely appreciate all the fans that have been supporting me. It's been an amazing ride with just pro play in general, competitive Valorant. It's been a bunch of memories that have just been really, really awesome for me. I truly have just had a grateful time playing and competing and showing up, mostly because of the fans. If it wasn't for the fans, I think that for me, esports wouldn't be the same. And it's also one of the reasons why it was so hard to make this decision to retire. It's all about the fans, and it's all about the people that actually back esports, the people that watch esports. Through that, that's kind of where the magic is made. So as one chapter of my life closes and a new one opens, I appreciate everyone that supports me, and thank you so much for all the support during my time at Sentinels. And lastly, I just want to say to all the young aspiring professional players, go for it, chase your dreams. It was something that I was definitely dreaming of as a kid. I would even wake up at 5 a.m. to watch Counter-Strike matches, just thinking about how cool the stage was and everything and the crowd. So just being able to be blessed enough to experience that myself and even be at the top of the world multiple points of my life through Valorant has been just amazing.
One enemy remaining.
And it's just a share for TenZ. Is this another TenZ moment in the books? He's gotten it down to 1. Victor up top. The swing is there, and the shot is 2 from TenZ.
Leave Sentinels a bit unaware. I mean, listen, taking risks. Close to the angle though. TenZ rips off 3.
All of that heat, but can TenZ really capitalize off of it? Yes, he can! Yes, he can! TenZ with a 3rd. So clean off of this Bladestorm, and he's even gonna find the 4th. Ace incoming possibly, but not enough knives. That is what you love to see.
Exactly.
Comes out immediately. I just love this until this happens. TenZ pushing towards the B main, looking for the 3rd kill, and he's gonna get the headshot there on the Valen.
The op again, keep an eye on that. He's got that as Sentinels have gotten onto the site. The Bladestorm's good!
There it is.
The Raid Store's good! As Esperanza and 5K get dropped, you've got Bunny dashing away as both of them using their mobility to stay alive. Bunny's op has to back up, but the dart did tag him. TenZ looking for more. TenZ gets 3.
Wow.
Dangerous scenario for them, but luckily TenZ finds that timing. Can anyone shut that one down? Yes, and it gets the 1, but initially traded out. Still, he is on fire right now. TenZ.
He's going to hear these steps. 2 coming his way, 2 through short. Another found. TenZ is farming. That's 3. How many more are you going to get, TenZ? Up and over? Go on, buddy. Yeah, why not, TenZ?
Possibly going to try and retake, almost deny the plan. Here it comes.
Yep, dash through onto the side. There's Penny. All in a play, but what a round.
He gets cleaned up as well. Dame and TenZ left alone. They've got a Marshall. Well, it's a Marshall and it's TenZ. So you don't count it out. Oh my gosh, you don't count it out! He's looking for more. He gets the other one.
When the ship is sinking, the rats flee. Not saying he's a rat, but I'm saying that every passenger on the Titanic that could get off did get off. The only one that went down with the ship is the captain, right? Or by choice. The guys in the boiler room. And Riot Games is the captain on this. So TenZ, he's seen the numbers drop. He's had his, manager and all those people going, hey, look, the game's about dead. We're looking at how the structure of the actual community is going, and there's really no community left. It's just scripters and cheaters, script kiddies. And the few people that are left are already leaving day by day by day. Now, this game almost peaked out at 24 million consecutive players in 2020, to then 6 months ago be down to 6.8 6.87 million players. Yeah, which is pretty impressive, right? Well, why do you think that's a lot of people on the surface? Then we had Vanguard taken out of the game for a few months, taken over to League of Legends, fixed up, and relaunched extremely quietly as Vanguard 2.0 about a month and a half ago. In that time, the player base has gone from 6.87 million down to 877,000 within the first month of Vanguard 2.0 coming out. As of yesterday, we are down to 576,000 consecutive players on the surface. So, from all the matches I've played of recent, and all the testing I've been doing and conferring and just doing observations, research, looking at evidence. I'm about to show you some on the screen about the industry, whole entire industry itself, right? That I have noticed that 2/3 of a 6 to 7 hour gameplay of Valorant between unrated and rated from competition, 2/3 of those matches, 75% have a guy running a 5-stack of bots on the enemy team, or on the enemy team and my team, leaving me and maybe one other human being in my team and 3 bots on my team as well. 8 bots in a match. So it's a minimum of 5 and a maximum of about 8. That means 2 people in that match are not even playing the game to start with. 2, they're running bot script, so not even engaging in the game. ChatGPT is shit talking, right, in the chat. And God, I've got so much evidence about that if you want to see that in the video. To a point now where the game's population, the real population, is probably worldwide about 200,000 people as we speak, real players. Worldwide, that includes Asia. So if you look at the actual playability of the game, if you took out all the botters and whatever few cheaters remain, because there are a few cheaters left, I've caught a few recently and I haven't even bothered to report them. I've just said be careful because, well, you're going to get caught soon enough. Vanguard 2.0's come out. Oh yeah, what are you yapping about? Okay, let's clarify one thing too. If someone's yapping, they are speaking shit. But it's not yapping when you're telling the truth. Okay? So you kids need to learn between if someone's yapping or someone's actually telling you something of content and context to warn you about something that is going to happen to you. There is no getting around that. Okay? You are going to get caught by the system. That's it. I'm not yapping. I'm not telling stories. I'm just telling you, hey, watch out. You're going to get banned if you keep doing this. Heads up. Because we've seen 6 million players in 1 month get removed from this game permanently in most recent of histories. Take my advice, don't. I don't care. It's your loss. And it's a black mark on your name. You go on a dev watch list for life, and then boom. You got a mark against you on the internet for the rest of your life because you cheated in a free computer game on the internet. A live service game at that. Not an accolade you want to carry around with you in your later years, I promise you. It's pathetic. It's sad, and you're an underperformer because you're too lazy or too incompetent, or you just don't have the motor skills to play this kind of game. And as I've said before, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's cool. Go play something else that you can play, and don't cheat because you're just going to screw yourself over or get caught and get kicked out of that, and you would have wasted your parents' credit card money again on a game you can no longer play ever again because you, 1, stole their credit card to buy the hacks with in the first place. 2, you've given your parents' credit card details to a complete stranger, a criminal, an actual criminal, yes, by law, and somebody who you don't have any idea of what's going to do with that credit card information. They're going to tell you whatever they're going to want to tell you to get your money. The truth is always so much stranger than fiction in relation to these kinds of people. These credit cards usually numbers get sold off to these dark web guys who then sell them off to people to then purchase porn website stuff and other really messed up shit on the dark web. Your parents then pay for that, and your parents get defrauded, and then you can get the roof of your head taken off you one day if you don't realise, because people then can sometimes go to Dubai and buy a house under your name. Your parents don't do that. Honestly, you kids are just, you're ruining your own futures. And gaming is dying. And by 2030, it's going to be done. All right, guys, so I could show you so many different websites talking about the decline of gaming and all of that type of stuff and a bunch of charts and all the boring stuff that nobody wants to watch. So I'll just get straight to the crux of it, okay? Beginning in 2023 and continuing in 2024, the video game industry has experienced mass layoffs. Over 10,000 jobs were lost in 23, and an additional 12,000 were just lost in 2024 from January to September. Where are we at now, guys? We're in September. And it will continue to happen. And these are very, very conservative numbers. This is just Wikipedia. So it's what the public get to see. Seriously, what's going on with the games industry? The real reason why the video games industry is collapsing. Games inbox, is this video game industry in decline? It keeps going, guys, and we can go tab, 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 and continue on. We are actually looking at a very real end to this industry by 2030, and I mean the last little pops and breaths of whatever games that may come out. This may include mobile games. APKs, right? Guys, what you have done to this industry is of your own creation. My generation, the X generation, we got the best of gaming that has ever happened to now. You kids have come in so late into the picture that you just have no idea of what gaming truly is and what fun is. And the social aspects. Yeah, we used to type. We didn't used to have microphones and all that classy, fancy stuff. We used to have a couple of speakers on our desk and type to people. So guys, look, I'm just going to play a couple of videos now, back to back. And I just want you to watch what everyone else is saying about the same thing. A guy who is qualified from university to work in the games industry who regrets every second of it now as well. Okay? And his take on how toxic and messed up the industry has become and diluted by mental patients and people that should never have ever touched a keyboard in the first place to start writing code, to a point where we're talking about gaming addiction and what you're doing by stealing your parents' credit cards and buying skins or hack accounts or botting, and what it's doing to your mental health. And these are permanent, ongoing things that you are doing to your brain. Yes, you can get therapy and you can get medications to help you recover at some stage. But what you are doing to your brain right now, your physical grey matter of your brain, is you are pulling apart things that are very hard to reconnect later on. Think about that, guys. Anyway, I'll get on with the video and go from there.
At the end of 2023, I graduated from university and I got a degree in game art. And whilst I'm glad I got an actual degree, this is beautiful, I regret getting one that locks me into only getting a job within the gaming industry. It's an industry I never ever want to work in. It just seems horrific. It's nothing like it was when I started my education in college at the young age of 16. I was so unaware of the evil within. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Gradually, as I got older and I trapped myself more and more into the course, the more shit I saw about the bad things within the industry that came to light. It seemed like the gaming industry was one of the worst industries you could ever even think about getting a career in. Honestly, by the time I had graduated, I would have rather been one of those people who sift around in shit-filled sewers than crunch 80 hours a week to make a fucking skin in Fortnite. I don't know. I just want to make it clear now that I'm mainly going to be talking about the AAA side side of the industry in this video, as that's where almost all of these problems are stemming from. A lot of people look back on 2023 and think, wow, that was such a good year for games. So many bangers came out like Baldur's Gate 3, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4, and that one Zelda game that wasn't Majora's Mask, so it didn't matter, but I think people liked it. People consider it one of, if not the best year for games. Now, I never understood this statement personally. Like, I know the games were pretty consistently good, if you ignore the dog shit that was released, but it was also one of the years that had the most layoffs. I don't think there was a single month within the year where there wasn't news about a company laying off a significant amount of employees because the game they created flopped, or sometimes for a completely unknown internal reason that will probably never come to light. It made 2023 a mixed year for me and a lot of people, especially the ones who lost their livelihood during it. I honestly couldn't help but watch last year's Game Awards with this sour taste in my mouth. All these fake smiling faces aware of what's going on. Going into 2024, I was really hoping that the whole layoff trend would have stayed in 2023. I was hoping a lot of these companies would have learnt from their mistakes and tried their absolute best to let people keep their jobs, their livelihoods. Oh wait, it's so much worse. This shit is insane, and I can imagine it's just downhill from here. I don't know why I was even hopeful for any form of change. This is the game industry we're talking about here. It's run by rich twats that have never played a game before in their fucking lives. They all look like goblin hybrids too. I don't know what's up with that trend. Now this is gonna be me giving educated guesses here from now on, so if I'm wrong about things, feel free to correct me in the comments, but I feel like one of the big reasons as to why these layoffs are happening is because budgets for games are getting way too ridiculous to the point where making that money back is borderline impossible. PlayStation is easily one of the biggest offenders of this. Ever since The Last of Us, they've been kind of obsessed with making games that are equivalent to films. While of course there is gameplay within these games, the main focus is on the cutscenes and motion capturing. And because so much of the budget is put into that, the gameplay just isn't that fun in my opinion for a lot of these games. They're also obsessed with this hyper-realistic graphic style too. And yeah, I get they're trying to sell consoles by showcasing the power of the system, but come on, you only really need one game for that. With this goal for almost every single one of their games, it means there's a longer development time, like a ridiculously long development time.
How? 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 I don't know!
And during this time, they need to pay their workers more and more, meaning the budget of the game gradually increases, meaning the game needs to be an absolute hit or it's considered a flop. Although, even when it is a hit, it won't save them from laying off employees. Spider-Man 2 was one of the fastest selling PlayStation games of all time, yet despite this, they still laid off a significant number of employees from Insomniac Games. Oh, and of course a bunch of other employees from the other companies they own too, for no apparent reason that we know of. Honestly, the way Sony do shit with their IPs makes no sense to me. There's an insane amount of smaller PlayStation IPs that have fairly big fan bases that are desperate for any form of game, or even a mention. If PlayStation told Naughty Dog to make a new Jak and Daxter game, rather than The Last of Us Part 3, it would sell pretty well. They really underestimate how many people want a game like that. I mean, I guess they look at the statistics of the shitty PS4 port of the original game, which no one wanted because it was shit, not because people don't want Jak and Daxter, but they don't care about that. They just see money and statistics. I mean, fucking hell, the concepts for Jak 4 are already somewhere in Naughty Dog's studio. For all we know, they were already prototyping the gameplay mechanics before they scrapped it. So there's already a start for Jak 4. Why don't you just work off that? I don't understand. I don't work in the industry. I don't understand any of this shit. It's stupid. I'm not disregarding the fact that PlayStation does have studios that make smaller titles. I mean, they literally released Helldivers 2 not too long ago. And I mean, it just proves my point. That game had a fraction of the budget of like God of War, for example. Yet it sold like crazy, easily making up for the budget spent on creating the game. Although mentioning Helldivers 2 helps me move on to the next point, and that is the fact the industry has a stupid ass obsession with live service games. These are some of the most predatory games. Most of them are designed to just leech money out of our wallets by tricking people who have addiction problems, by drip feeding them dopamine with loot and pretty colors. When one of these live service games work, they can make the company so much money. And because of this, it became an oversaturated market because every single CEO wanted a fraction of that money and forced their companies to make dead inside live service games. That, or destroy a project they were already working on by forcing it to become a live service. Little do they know, with the current economy, we can barely afford a pot noodle, never mind a $44 skin and foam stars. So a majority of these live service games flop hard, leading to even more layoffs because the developers are blamed for it. Yet despite this, companies refuse to give up with this shit. Every CEO wants to make the next Destiny or Fortnite, and it feels like they're not gonna stop trying and laying off employees till they get what they want. It's creating a huge oversaturation of low quality AAA games in the market, which is very similar to what happened in 1983 with the video game crash back then. There was a massive oversaturation of just shit games, companies all over trying to jump on this video game trend to make a quick buck. It made so many people lose interest in games, and ET was the nail in the coffin for this. In 2023, we had so many ET equivalent games that we tried to forget, but they'll always be there.
Sorry, Rick. It has to be this way.
Personally, that might be why I wasn't into the whole 2023 hype as most people were, and it's probably gonna get worse the more this goes on, and I feel like I won't feel so alone with this feeling soon. Another problem is this weird obsession with putting celebrities in games. I'm not entirely sure why the creatures from the cesspit that is LA are swarming these pieces of media, but they aren't fucking good at acting in them. I think these dumbasses believe that having a random celebrity in their game will possibly increase interest and game sales, but take it from me, we don't fucking care that Megan Fox is a vampire lady in your Mortal Kombat game. In fact, the only news anyone hears about her being in it are clips of how fucking dreadful she is.
That blade's enchanted.
It was forged to destroy evil. It's slain many of your vampire kind.
We can't help what we are. That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
How did they allow this? It's insane that they probably could have gotten a professional voice actor for a quarter of the price they probably paid for Megan Fox because she's a celebrity. Ooh. Hideo Kojima popularized this shit with Death Stranding, and they were all fucking shit in that too.
You are damaged goods.
The only reason why Hideo Kojima gets away with this shit without bankrupting himself is because he's friends with every celebrity under the sun for some reason. I know Jeff Keighley gets very upset at parties when Kojima is talking to someone that isn't him. I don't know what kind of relationship they have behind the scenes, and honestly I don't want to know. The reality is, none of this will change, and this video has only just scratched the surface of the issues in the industry. I haven't even mentioned the problem with AI art becoming so competent. Like, this is eventually going to cause even more layoffs the more it improves. It's why there's so many people believing we're heading towards another crash, similar to the one that happened in 1983. And yeah, I'm on the same page. It's definitely going to happen if things don't change. And they won't, let's be real. These companies are far too stubborn, and they'll never listen to anyone. They don't even listen to the critics half the time, constantly churning out the same slop over and over again despite how much we complain and even vote with our wallets. It's a depressing reality, and honestly I really hope this video ages horribly. I love playing games. It's been a hobby of mine since I was 3 years old, so they mean a lot to me, as I can imagine is the same for a lot of you watching this right now. Let's hope a crash doesn't happen.
Games. A world where you can be anyone, do anything, and escape reality. But what happens when the lines between the virtual and real worlds blur? Today, we're diving deep into the growing issue of game addiction, a silent epidemic that's taking over lives one level at a time. For some, gaming is just a hobby, but for others, it's an obsession. They play for hours, sacrificing sleep, social interactions, even meals. The addiction is real, and the consequences can be devastating. According to recent studies, around 3 to 4% of gamers are at risk of developing an addiction. That's millions of people worldwide, lost in a digital maze with no easy way out. The signs are subtle. It starts with just an hour or two, but soon, that one more game turns into a sleepless night. Relationships strain, grades drop, jobs are lost. But the games? They keep on calling. Game addiction triggers the same neural pathways as other forms of addiction. The reward system in the brain is constantly stimulated, making it hard for the individual to stop, even when they recognize the problem. But it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing the problem is the first step. There are ways to regain control, to pull yourself out of the virtual abyss. Balance is key. Gaming should be a source of joy, not a chain that binds you. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out. There's help available. Gaming is a world of endless possibilities, but don't let it consume your reality. Stay in control, and remember, life is the ultimate game worth playing.
All right, guys, so you've seen everything. But those of you, the 2 people that have stuck around to the end, please put in a like or say something in the comment section to say, yes, I watched the whole video, and give me some feedback, yeah? This video is not to demonize anybody. It's not to put anybody in a specific camp. It's to highlight why gaming is going to end by 2030 now. And then what have you got? There's already kids running around the streets stealing cars and killing themselves in them. There's kids attacking shops, blowing shit up, stealing shit, breaking into people's houses. What happens when you haven't got computer games to play? Are you going to read a book? I don't think so. Are you going to go to the park with your friends and play? No, because you have no friends. Because you've isolated yourself on the internet. You've turned yourself into a martyr of your own creation. You have to start thinking forward now, kids, because you have killed gaming yourself. There is nobody else to blame at this stage. That's just how it is. And those of you kids that are going to end up in juvenile jail, when you get out, this is going to already have happened. It's a minimum 10 years for bot script. It's minimum 4+ years for tax evasion. That's 14 years of your life you're wasting for a free or paid for computer game on the internet to make a few dollars that are completely illegitimate and will be seized by the courts. So all that money you've made will be gone. And then that's further evidence against you in court for an extended jail sentence because you're defrauding the government. Honestly, I pity you kids. You have grown up in the worst time for education in the history of the human race. You have been stuck with wokeness. You have been stuck with the pandemic. You've been stuck with isolation, antisocial, dissociative behaviour issues, ODD, ADHD through the roof, mental health disorders through the roof. But there are some in your generation that are not doing that still. That's the thing. The smart ones in your generation are not you. They're the ones who have friends in real life, play sport, have social outlets outside of their computer screen and keyboard and mouse or console. And if they do play computer games, it's with their friends, their real friends in real world. And unfortunately, though, they are a mass minority compared to the mass majority of your dysfunctional children and dysfunctional parents. So yes, this comes back on your parents 1000%, without question, without argument. The Y generation, 96% of the Y generation should have never, ever, ever had any legal right to have a child because they are children themselves. They have never grown up. God, most Y gens are sleeping on people's couches or homeless right now because they can't get a real job because they're working at Woolworths or McDonald's themselves because they have no skills, they have no qualifications, they have no drive, ambition to become anything or do anything that's going to improve their or other people's lives because they're self-centered and so addicted to TikTok and social bloody media that they're being programmed to not. And they have abandoned you kids and let you kids get into trouble like this. Unbelievable amounts of legal trouble that you're never going to recover from, nor will your parents now, for their inaction and their inability to raise you correctly. My condolences, but you still had the opportunity to make the right choice. You didn't. Now you're going to pay for the real world consequences. That's it. There's no, oh, I'm sorry. It's too late. You've done the wrong thing. Now you're going to pay for it by law, by how the world really works outside of what you believe. Your parents will also now be justifiably charged with the same offences in their own right for being shit human beings to start with and failing you kids. Anyway, guys, look, this is the end. It's the end of gaming. It's just begun this year in January, and it will continue to downturn and downturn to a point where by 2030, we're not going to have any form of entertainment industry in gaming, let alone movies. Netflix is dying. It's all ending, guys. Yeah? Apple TV, Disney Plus, it's all over. So start finding a new hobby, whether it's painting, drawing, sports, hiking, kicking a soccer ball around, throwing, I don't know, a baseball with a mitt with your mates, if you've got any, or at least your dad. Try to connect with your dad or your mum, respectively, and start having a relationship with them. And ask them to get off their mobile devices. Ask them to get away from their computer screens and TV screens and spend some real quality time with you as parents. Teach your parents how to behave, because that's where we're at, kids. It's up to you to teach your parents how to behave correctly. That's such a shocking thing. I never thought I'd ever have to say, but it's how it is. It's time you kids take responsibility and you grow up and you start doing what is required. Those of you that are already in too much trouble and it's too far, I'm sorry, you're a lost cause, you're an underperformer, and you're never going to amount to anything at this stage anyway, because you've learnt so many bad habits and behaviours. So, sorry, but you're a lost case. And you can't help everybody, right? As a teacher, that's one thing I learnt. You cannot teach every single student in your class. You can only teach the ones that want to learn. You can't help every single disability student you've got in your class. Only the ones that want help. Pride, ignorance, arrogance, whatever you want to call it. But you can only do so much as a human being to help people. I've tried for over 2.5 years on this channel to get the point across about Valorant specifically to you kids, and all I've got is stupid kids coming in who hate and cheat and lie and are terrible little mongrels in the comments section, trying to put me down and shit on me for being honest and telling the truth and putting them in their place. I'm still here, you're not. That's the difference. Good guys always win, it's just not how you expect it. Being a bad guy throughout history has ended up in failure 100% of the time. Stop trying to be the tough, cool kid, because you're not. You're never going to be. You're just going to end up in jail just like all the other wannabe tough, cool kids, rebel without a cause. Bullshit. Let's break the system. Let's be tough. Let's be cool. Let's disrespect people on the internet behind a keyboard. Grow the fuck up. You're no one, and you're never going to be anyone with that attitude, with that behaviour. Show some kindness, empathy and respect towards people and see what happens instead. 2024 is the end. 6 years from now, no games. That's it. We're done. Mark my words. So this about Star Citizen, I was right all along. And if you follow any of the current Star Citizen drama, nothing's happened in 4 fucking years in that game's development. Nothing. And I said it, and I proved it, and I showed it, and I got so much hate for it. But guess what? 4 years later, going on 5 years, I'm still right. Because I told the truth. And I was honest about it. People don't like honesty on the internet because it doesn't suit their agenda. Peace out. I'm CTT. You may see me in the future. You may not. Because I am so fucking done with YouTube. I'm so done with social media. And gaming's dead.